Hi, and welcome to the Squeaky Wheel Farm. I'm Christine. Today we're going to discuss a few different things. Paul's got to cut some hay. I've got to do a few things in the garden. I'll show you what I've got going on out there. And then some of my trees in my orchard are going to need some attention. So I've made some mistakes. I'd like to show you what they are so maybe you can learn from them. And maybe I'll show you what equipment he's got and what we use to make hay, so that, you know, if you decide to do something like this, you've got that information. Come along with me and let me show you how we get things done. And he's using a New Holland TN65 tractor. So this is a New Holland HM236. And if you can see, it just hangs off the back of the tractor. It's connected with PTO. There's no tires to maintain. Well, this is mostly grass. It does have a little bit of alfalfa and some clover. But this will make a decent second cutting. This is our fall crop of potatoes. We planted it just the other day. We had a bunch of potatoes that had sprouted that we stored from last year. We stored them in an old dresser that we had repurposed. So some of the potatoes are starting to come up. They haven't all made their way through the straw. And when you're planting potatoes at different times of the season, you can have different problems. I mean, this time of year for us is usually a lot drier, so that's why we're using a big mound with a whole lot of straw on it to hold the moisture in. I haven't planted potatoes in late July like I am. I've always done it earlier on. I've already harvested my first crop of new potatoes that I had grown in the greenhouse, and those worked out really well. But all we did was put a couple of piles of compost down, spread it out, put the potato seeds on top of that. Again, used the big bucket on the Bobcat and just covered them with dirt, and then put straw on top of that. So I've got a sprinkler head over there, and we're just trying to keep them moistened and keep them wet every couple of days. Another thing I'm really happy with is my grapes. So I just have cattle panel trellis here with just one Concord grape plant on each side in this planter box. And the grapes are growing pretty good this year so far. They're not terribly large yet, but we've got time. It's just mid-July. We've got at least another month or two growing before things really slow down. So I'm very happy with this, and by keeping it on a trellis, I'm hopeful that I can cover it with some netting so the birds don't get them all this year. I tried to plant some more flowers this year, things that will come back again so I don't have to work so hard at it next year. But on these trellises, now they look kind of a mess because they are so overgrown. But these are bottle gourds. There's my hand for size, but this is what it starts out as. And I've got some more mature plants over here. Here's a huge one. There's my hand for size, and it's just big. I'm starting to see some fungus or something taking over, so I've been trying to pluck those leaves off as I could get to them. Now on each one of these panels I put 2 plants on either side in the boxes below, and it is just totally covered, these cattle panels. So the plants have been very vigorous. Haven't really taken any trouble as far as taking care of them, other than probably the last week I've seen some leaves starting to turn brown or have possibly some disease, fungus or something on them, so I've been trying to trim out those leaves. Grandkids really love playing in there. It's nice little shade tunnel for them. And then here, got some flower boxes. And I probably misjudged on what I could fit in there and put a whole lot more than what I should have. This here, that's a zinnia that's come up through the center of it, but this is a mum plant that I just had laying around. This one too. I don't usually have mums that carry over from one year to the next, but this year they survived, so I figured I'd stick them in the ground. And this is chamomile. I believe it's the German variety. I have both German and Roman varieties. And on this side here, I've got the calendula. Oh, this is parsley. It needs to be trimmed back and harvested again. And I've got Sweet William, or it's also called pinks. And that, I believe, is Thai basil. Some purple coneflowers, some different varieties of pinks. I did come through the other day. I'll plant some carrots and some lettuce in between these marigolds. And you'll see that I've got some brown stuff just lightly dusting the top. That's just some coconut coir. I just wanted to put something on the top so that it would keep the seeds in contact with the soil. And the little bit of straw that I have right now is brushed to the side. Once these start to come up, I will cover them again. In case you're wondering, this is what onions look like in their second year when they're going to seed. I had a couple that I had missed last year, and I am purposely letting them head out and become a seed head so that I can harvest those seeds and plant them next year. And just past this row of San Marzano tomatoes, I got several rows of pumpkins. I started these late. Usually I get them in around the beginning of June, and I didn't get them in till the end of June. So they're only like 2 weeks old. But they'll thicken out and spread out and choke off all those weeds. That's why I haven't really worked very hard on weeding those, because I don't think it's going to be a problem. And my goal is just to have some pumpkins for Halloween and, you know, possibly have some to feed the chickens through the winter. We've already picked and eaten a lot of sweet corn, but we were smart this year and made sure that we staggered it a couple of rows at a time so that we didn't have it all finishing out at the same time. Now, some of these apple trees I got trimmed up at the end of the season last year, and some of them I didn't. So I wouldn't be truthful if I didn't show you some of the mistakes that I've made. Now this is what I'm most upset about. I don't know if you can see it, but right there in the middle of that tree, a huge branch is broken off, and it's just a small tree. It's only a couple of years old. So I'm just sick that I didn't get out here and lighten the load before it broke. So this is the branch that is broken off, and it's just loaded with apples. I should have gotten out here and cut this off earlier. And now I don't know if this pincher is going to get it, but I'm going to give it a try and see if I can get it off of there, because it's not doing the tree any good. See if I can get it. Maybe if I come from the other side. There we go. That's just makes me sad. And I don't think that this tree is gonna be able to heal, but I might try to bind that up and see if it'll heal itself. This is a Honeycrisp. And as you can see, I don't spray my apples. So a lot of them are misshapen or bug eaten. I did buy some bags to put over the apples, but again, this snuck up on me so fast that I did not even imagine that it would happen this quickly. So this is a fail. Don't do this. Try to do better with your trees, especially your fruit trees. Apple trees do take a little bit of care. It's more than just putting them in the ground and crossing your fingers. Even though I don't spray, I do try to come through in the fall and thin out so that you've got one leader branch, and then these branches here, they do better and they're much stronger when they're out at a 90-degree angle than at a tight V, which is another reason why this probably broke, because it came up instead of going out. So I'll tie this together and I'll get online and see if there's anything that I can do to repair this tree so that I don't lose it. I mean, it's a shame. It was negligence on my part, but I'm hopeful that it'll recover, and maybe in the future we'll have some apples. So these apples are pretty good size so far, and we're not even to the end of the season yet. I've been pulling off any that I see that are obviously damaged that I won't get anything out of. And you know, anything that's not good for human consumption, is too buggy and can't be peeled or cut away, I will feed to the cows or the chickens. We had plans of getting some pigs, but I don't think that's going to happen this year because he's just been too busy, and I don't want to add one more thing to everything else he's got to do. But we'll see. The chickens that are in the chicken tractor will be leaving in a couple of weeks, and then maybe that'll open up a window for us to try to do something else. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing. I hope to see you again soon. If you've enjoyed this video, watch this next.